The sharp voice sliced through the salt-heavy air. "You don't belong here, old man. Leave the ship. Now." Dozens of heads turned. Tourists, sailors, dock workers, all frozen, watching the confrontation unfold on the deck of the USS Franklin. Now a decommissioned museum ship, but still sacred ground to many. The officer's uniform was crisp, his chest puffed, his authority on full display. But the man standing before him didn't flinch. He was tall, weathered, his back impossibly straight. Despite the years, his jacket was worn at the seams, the faint outline of military pins still visible, though most had long since been removed. His hands, knotted and veined, rested calmly on the cane he hardly seemed to need. "Leave," the officer barked again, louder this time, as if volume could erase the quiet defiance in the veteran's eyes. "This ship is not your playground. It's a restricted area." The veteran's gaze never wavered. It drifted across the deck, as if seeing ghosts no one else could. His fingers tightened slightly around the handle of his cane, a movement so subtle most missed it. But not the officer. And that only made him angrier. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Some averted their eyes. Others whispered, but no one spoke aloud. No one stepped forward. The officer's lip curled. "Do I need to call security?" Still, the veteran said nothing. His name was Thomas Reid. USS Franklin wasn't just a ship to him. It was his home, his graveyard, his memory. Decades ago, when he was barely 20, Thomas had stood on this very deck, surrounded by fire and screams as kamikaze planes tore into the hull. He had pulled brothers out of the smoke with his bare hands. He had carried men whose legs were no longer there. He had wrapped trembling arms around dying friends and whispered that they would make it, even when he knew they wouldn't. For Thomas, the ship's metallic scent wasn't rust. It was the iron of blood, the sweat of survival. The distant creak of the deck was the echo of hurried boots. The faint oil lingering in the air was a signature of battles long past. Every year since its decommissioning, he came to remember. Alone, quietly, never seeking attention, never asking for recognition. He simply sat at the stern, fingers grazing the cold steel rail, speaking silently to ghosts who still waited for him. But this year was different. This year, there was a new officer assigned to the ship's security. Lieutenant Harper. Young, ambitious, obsessive about regulations. To him, Thomas was nothing but a trespasser. A frail man clinging to memories that Harper saw as nothing more than outdated stories. "I'm giving you a final warning," Harper snapped, stepping closer. "Leave or be removed." Thomas's silence was not resistance. It was remembrance. It was the weight of lives carried, promises kept, and battles survived. And in that silence, something else stirred. From the edge of the pier, a figure in a navy dress uniform appeared. Then another, and another. They walked with purpose, their metals gleaming under the afternoon sun. One by one, they ascended the gangway, their presence deliberate, undeniable. Commander Fields led them, a man whose career had spanned continents, but who never forgot the men who came before him. Without a word, Commander Fields approached Thomas, came to attention, and offered the sharpest salute his body could give. Thomas, slowly, carefully, returned it. "What's the meaning of this?" Harper's voice cracked, the first fracture in his confidence. Commander Fields didn't answer him. Instead, he turned to his men. "This is Thomas Reid," he said, his voice steady, loud enough for all to hear. "Survivor of the USS Franklin's darkest day. A man whose bravery is etched in the very steel beneath our feet. When this ship burned, he stayed. When others fled, he pulled his brothers from the fire. He has more right to be here than any of us." The words landed like thunder. The gathered sailors stood taller. Bystanders lowered their phones, suddenly aware they were witnessing something sacred. Harper's authority dissolved beneath the weight of that silence. His badge, once a symbol of control, now felt unbearably heavy on his chest. "This ship remembers him," Fields continued, his gaze unwavering. "And so will we." Harper stumbled, his mouth opening and closing, but no words came. His superiors, having heard of the incident, relieved him of duty that same day. His obsession with rules had cost him the honor his uniform demanded. As Thomas turned to leave, another sailor stepped forward and offered his arm. Thomas declined, steady on his own feet, but he rested his hand briefly on the sailor's shoulder. A. Silent passing of the torch. Some heroes don't need parades. They don't need speeches. They simply need to stand where they once bled, where they once loved, where they once lived. And sometimes, the greatest power is not in what is said, but in what is quietly endured. The ship remembers him. Some honors can never be stripped. Silent dignity is louder than any command. To those who've served, who've endured, who've carried unseen battles, this story is for you. Tell me, where are you watching from? What did this story mean to you? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more stories that honor the silent heroes among us.